Other interesting business news, you have Tesla's robotaxi event was a little lackluster and their stock is a little bit hurt. Now, don't get me wrong, overall throughout history, some of the most successful stocks since the dawn of time. And geez Louise, what was the IPO at? Was it 16 or $17 per share? And yeah, hindsight's not none of this financial advice. Hindsight's already 2020 when it comes to investing, but geez Louise. I talk about a lost opportunity. The company that no one thought would succeed, and historically speaking, it is statistically astonishing what Elon has done with the business. Now, let's just look at their stock trend really quick before we dive into the article. Now, granted, of course, this is a fun and depressing if you just kind of think about lost opportunities. The max of the stock, so throughout all of the time, it's gone up. Oh, geez Louise. 16, again, this is astonishing, 16,915.63%. Also known as insanely good. Look at their 5-year trend. That's still pretty darn good. 5-year trend is up 1,217.6%. That's pretty darn good, especially, again, on average, the automotive community is extremely cutthroat, is extremely, pretty tight margins. And again, no company, EVs have lost money for decades when people try to make them. Elon made it profitable. It took years, but that in and of itself is a huge business accomplishment. Don't get me wrong, I'd never buy one because all my vehicles always have 3 pedals, also known as a manual transmission, as they all should have by default. That's kind of what I love to do. But I still appreciate their engineering and being able to basically pull off and achieve the unachievable. Now, where it gets a little bit more concerning is, well, what's the 1-year trend look like when, and again, on the average, S&P 500 is doing pretty darn good. Well, the past year, not so great. The stock is down negative 17.18%. Granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, the stock will change because that's what it does. Currently trading for about $217.80 per share. Now, the year to date, it's still about down 12%. 6 months, hindsight's 2020, should have invested. And that's pretty good. It's actually up 25%. But yeah, past 1 month, kind of cratered down about 4.53%. And last week went down 12.52% on the news of the humanoid robot. Or sorry, that one's doing good. The news of the robotaxi, well, it's not great. Now, going over to the Reuters article, this is by Chris Kirkman, saying, quote, Tesla's robotaxi event was long as Musk promises. Investors want more details, though. And, it'll be interesting. This would sell like hotcakes if that vehicle is actually made out of that material that it looks like. It looks like a Cybertruck material, like stainless steel. If it's actually bullet resistant, this would be a hit in places like Chicago and Detroit, where it most certainly is needed. Now, going to the actual substance of the article, they say, quote, for a businessman who perpetually struggles and broken promises, Elon Musk gave himself quite a to-do list. Tesla's long-awaited Hollywood unveil of the driverless robotaxis. His slew of announcements during a 20-minute presentation were short on practical details and prompted investors to push Tesla stock as much as 10% last Friday. After traversing the fake streets of Warner Bros. Movie studio last week, the silver two-door, oh, this is cute, it's called the Cyber Cab, alright, I like it, prototype, he promised that the community's popular Model 3 and Y vehicles would also be able to operate without a driver's supervision in California and Texas next year. That's pretty quick, relatively speaking. Elon Musk said that the company would start building these fully autonomous cyber cabs by 2026. Now, this is insane. At a price of less than $30,000, and showed off a robo-van capable of transporting 20 people around town, which he said would reshape cities by turning parking lots into parks, which, I don't know about that. $30,000. Again, Tesla historically is one of the most profitable cybersecurity companies, or sorry, they should do that as well. Who knows what Elon will do tomorrow with all his startups, but one of those popular automotive companies. And again, another friendly reminder, click that subscribe button. I have a theory, the more subscribers I've gained, the better I've been able to speak. When I first started the show, I had barely any subscribers, and believe it or not, spoke worse than I did back then to today. Spoke even faster, mostly monotone, and stumbled over my words more than Joe Biden trying to walk upstairs. But as I slowly but surely gain more subscribers, I've slowly but surely increased my speaking acumen, and someday hope to have an entire episode of perfect speaking skills. A tall order, a tall goal, a lofty goal, some might say, but you have to aim for something. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, well, shoot, tell your enemies. They might become your friends. I greatly appreciate it. Now, going back to me attempting to speak. Now, they note that Thursday's night's electric dance music infused had the event signature trappings of Musk salesmanship, but some Tesla investors and experts said that they were hoping for more concrete details on how the company plans to transform from an automaker to an autonomous driving and artificial intelligence titan with a solid business plan, which, again, he also says, geez Louise, I just can't get past that price point. $30,000, that's nothing relative to the automotive community. Because again, that's cost to the consumer. And Elon's changed his prices throughout the years. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure we'll see what the actual price is at the end of the day. But that means they have to make it for $15,000 to $22,000 to remain. Because again, you have massive overhead, you have employees, you have the factory. That's That's a massive undertaking. And shoot, he's pulled off the impossible before. Again, getting to that aggressive price point is going to be a tall order. Now, they also say that Tesla shares were down 7.8% midday trading at the announcement of this. The Tesla stock, which has plummeted since its record high late in 2021 by fears of cheaper EV rivals eating into Tesla's market share, is up 40% since April when Musk announced the shift to robotaxis. So the shares were down about 9% past 12 months compared to nearly 33 increase by the broad market S&P 500 index, which historically speaking, again, not financial advice, but that's one of the safest bets out there in terms of being a barometer for the economy, as well as increasing over time. Partially because again, it's a diversification of 500 of those businesses. Now you also have someone by we actually have CEO Gerber Kowalski Wealth and Investment Management saying, "quote His vision is lovely, but someone has to actually realize it. For now, for the next 24 months, Tesla has to sell EVs. Why aren't they focusing on that?" Which I'm sure he's going to try to focus on both things at once, which most people can't do. But shoot, with Elon's with his brain power, shoot, I mean, maybe we'll go back to sleeping in the factories again and make it happen. It'll be interesting, but again, I think there's so many people skeptical about this technology actually hitting the streets. It's very similar to when Elon said he's going to have fully autonomous driving. He's been saying that for about 10 years. And don't get me wrong, they've made huge leaps and bounds in research, innovation, and development, and it's getting closer. But again, I mean, you have all the other competitors also trying to do the autonomous vehicles. I believe you also have places like Uber trying to do it. It is almost like the holy grail for what they think is automotive community. Although personally, I find it the antithesis of I would think it'd be a living hell personally, because I mean, yeah, I don't care if I'm the last person on the planet, taking a shovel out to the middle of Oklahoma or Texas to get that drop of oil. I want to drive a stick shift vehicle until I die. Obviously, the gas engine. Hopefully someday with a V8 or V10 or V12. Someday, man can dream. But let me know in the comments. Do you think, again, there's so much hype around this technology? Another question to ask is, would people really accept it? Do people really want to be transported with these robo-taxis? That being, you, as a wise man once said, you can, lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. That'd be another interesting question. Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.